Hello and happy May. This is not the first day of May, obviously, but it is the first episode of May. And if you listened in last week, you know that there was a fun announcement that on Saturday it was my birthday. So my birthday is May 4th. Happy Star Wars Day. Happy my birthday. And today, therefore, is May 7th. Happy almost Mother's Day. Happy birthday to my brother and my sister who are also born this week, exactly 2 years apart. Happy Mother's Day to my mom. But the point of me telling you this, if you made it this far into this intro, is that there is a sale going on today. So if you click the link in the show notes, it will take you to the discount code, and it is a big one. So if you want to sign up for Vestibular Group Fit and you've been thinking about it, today is the day to do it. If you are listening to this on Tuesday, May 7th only, it will not be available on the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. No, this is a 2-day only flash sale. So if you are lucky enough to be listening to this podcast today, congrats to you. I'm so glad you listened to the podcast today up, and join us in Vestibular Group Fit. Click the link below. It will take you to the code. I love ya, and I will see you in the episode. Hey friend, welcome to Grounded, the Vestibular podcast. I'm Dr. Madison Oak, aka the Vertigo Doctor. I am the vestibular physical therapist who is here to help you with all things dizziness, imbalance, and vertigo. In this podcast, we explore the fascinating world of vestibular disorders. Come with me as we dive headfirst into a journey to discover the mysteries of the brain, the inner ear, and the balance mechanisms that keep us grounded. Whether you've been managing dizziness for 1 day or 25 years, we're going to get real about what it takes to manage dizziness, handle the anxiety cycle, and thrive, not just survive, with your vestibular disorder. First, I want to remind you that this is never medical advice. Remember, this podcast is for informational purposes only and may not be the best fit for you and your personal situation. It shall not be construed as medical advice. The information and education provided here is not intended or implied to supplement or replace professional medical treatment, advice, and/or diagnosis. Always check with your own physician, medical professionals, and healthcare team before trying or implementing any information found here. Meet me in your coziest chair while we navigate the highs and lows, the twists and turns of the vestibular universe. Welcome to Grounded. Let's dive in. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Grounded. I have Dr. Jenna here with me, and today we're going to talk about Mother's Day. But before we get started, I just want to put up front that we know that Mother's Day can be a really hard day. It can also be a really fun and exciting day. But of course, it can always be a very, very difficult day for a lot of people, whether you are struggling to become a mom, whether you have lost your mom. There's a million reasons that this can be difficult. And we want to acknowledge that. We love you and we're sending you tons of love and support. But today we specifically want to talk about ways to make Mother's Day easier, because it can be a really hard day, not only if you're struggling with things relating to moms and motherhood, but also if you're feeling a lot of pressure to be perfect on Mother's Day because of, I don't know, crap like Instagram and not feeling like you're doing the brunch thing and going out to a restaurant and whatever. But there's a bajillion ways to enjoy Mother's Day. And remember that this day is about you or your partner, depending on who's listening to this. So, um, to all the moms who are freaking out, maybe that Mother's Day is in, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days from now, let's talk about it. What do you think?
I love it. Sometimes it just made me think. I always kind of laugh because I feel like with the Mother's Day or Father's Day, it's like I have my immediate parents,
Mm-hmm.
but like when their parents were alive and around, it was kind of a like, oh, but we're doing something with them too. It's like, well, now I just feel like we're doing a lot of running around. Like it kind of feels like it's like kind of their day, but still kind of not because they're still then
Totally.
being like the kid for their parent. And it's just like a weird chain of events. Like, I don't know. You
Mhm.
think about it too hard, it starts to get kind of like too philosophical, but it's just that idea of like, oh, I need to like be an appreciative parent for whatever someone does for me, but also I need to maybe support a parent, or maybe I have mixed feelings about this
Mhm.
because of my relationship with my parents. So yeah, it's a very hallmarky feeling holiday sometimes, but also there's a lot of
Yeah,
different aspects going on that can make it tough. So I like
100%.
that you brought that up right away.
Yeah, I took a poll about like ways to make Mother's Day easier, and maybe we could talk about those. But I think that reminding everyone that like this day has so much pressure on it, just like any other holiday does, just like and your birthday might, just like I don't know, like Christmas or Hanukkah or New Year's or whatever the heck you celebrate. It's like I have to be perfect because we need to put it on Instagram and we need to do XYZ things, and it's just not true. So like taking a step back and evaluating like what do I actually want this to look like is really what matters. And I think a lot of us get caught up in the like, I have to do this thing because like my neighbor is doing it and it's like very keeping up with the Joneses. And it's like, we really don't need to be doing that. It's kind of obnoxious. Like everyone, everyone does it and it's hard to get over it. But also, we need to get over it because it's just not necessary.
Yeah, like it doesn't help you at the end of the day trying to do other things that don't
No.
really kind of fit to you. And
Mm-hmm.
it's easier said than done, but it's just like sometimes you got to like remember the times you do it in any capacity and be
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm so glad I didn't say yes to this, or I did leave early,
Mm-hmm.
or you like hear things after of like, yeah, I really didn't miss much leaving early. I'm really glad I was able to like get a full night's sleep and have a like productive morning when like other people are waking up at like 10 being like, oh
Mm-hmm.
my gosh, like the day just like got away from me. It's like, yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
this was worth it.
100%. Hot tip from Dr. Jenna and I both kick everyone out of your house all the time at 8 or before 8 p.m. because really, why do you need them there any longer?
Or you get friends where everyone's on the same page of I
Uh-huh.
want to be home and in bed by like 9:30 or 10. So we're all
Mm-hmm.
gonna like plan our evening accordingly and like let's just start a little bit earlier. I also love a like 5:30 dinner too.
Oh, this is why we are besties
Uh,
because we want to eat dinner at the same time. We want to go to bed at the same time. And
yeah,
in
so
case you didn't know, Dr. Jenna taught me that. So here we are.
I felt like everyone made fun of me for wanting to eat early. I'm like, why eat later? I'm just waiting longer. I'm getting hangry. I don't want to be doing all this stuff this late. And like, I don't know, I don't feel set and ready for my evening. Now I have time to relax. So
I totally
that
agree.
kind of goes in line with some of the suggestions that you got from
Mm-hmm.
your poll, though, about like meals and cooking. Like
Mm-hmm.
there were things about meals, kind of chores. Some
Mm-hmm.
I thought was kind of funny with like the leave me alone and then other ones that were like quality time. And I'm like, I feel like there can always be like a nice middle ground
Mm-hmm.
to things with that. So
Totally. I think that there's definitely some sort of combo, but some people say leave for the full day. Some people say give me some alone time. And other people are like clean my house and mop the floors. Like those at four are all next to each other on my poll. And I think that it's just like talking to your family about like what you want to do is important. Like I think we convolute Mother's Day for like a day where you have to be doing things with your kids. And granted, neither of us have children. So who's to say what we would want? But I know that like some people are like, I want a massage and like a spa day, and like that's totally fine. And like some people are like, I just want to like hang out on the couch with my kids, and that's totally fine. And both of those things are acceptable things. And try not to push yourself to do things that you don't actually want to do if you don't have
yeah,
to.
it's really given me love languages a
Yes,
little
it
bit.
definitely gives love
Like I was
languages.
getting a lot of like, so some people's love language might be quality time, others might be acts of service or words of
Mm-hmm.
affirmation or some sort of a combo here. And some of it might just have to do with your personal situation too. Like if you're able to have more time with your kids, it might feel more like a way to celebrate by having maybe a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
time to yourself and,
Mm-hmm.
flip it. Maybe you don't get to see your kids as often as you'd like, or maybe they're really busy with other activities. So it's never like time that you're spent together. It's more like time you're spent with them while they're doing something else or,
Yeah,
something along
totally.
those lines where quality time, just
Mm-hmm.
you as a unit feels,
Mm-hmm.
maybe something of how you want to allocate the day more
Mm-hmm.
than someone else.
Totally. Absolutely. And then when you do think of the thing you want to do, if it is going to a restaurant, if it is having breakfast in bed, if it is, I don't know, going on a walk with your family or going to a museum or whatever, think about how to pace that throughout the day. So we always kind of come back to pacing ultimately, right? Like it's important to understand that like doing things slowly in a way that works for you. Like if you do want to go to brunch in a museum, like I don't know why that is the first thing that comes to my head. I don't think I've ever been to brunch in a museum on Mother's Day with my mom, but like maybe I haven't. I'm forgetting. I'm pretty sure we go for a beach walk, but whatever. Um, if that is the thing that you want to do on Mother's Day, that's great. But like think about how you're gonna do that. Maybe you sleep really well the night before, you get up, you have breakfast. Don't wait to have brunch until like 11 or 12 or whatever crazy time people eat breakfast for brunch. And then go out, do your thing, and then maybe you sit in the car for a little while before you go to said museum. And then you spend only an hour there instead of 3 hours, or you spend only 30 minutes there, or you spend 30 minutes there and then you like go up to the cafeteria in the museum because I know they always have like a place to eat and like sit for a little bit and then go see more of it. Like think of the way that you can make this work for you. The glasses you might need to bring or the earplugs you might need or what outfit might be most comfortable. Like really think ahead with these things and set yourself up for success.
Yeah, I'm very much like, I don't like surprises because I like to be practical. And then my little, like, I feel more like my parents every day, but I go, wow, I bet everyone else is also wanting to do a breakfast, lunch, brunch combo for Mother's Day. Like, everyone else is thinking that. So we are going to do the opposite. And we are going to do like a dinner somewhere, or we are going to order takeout and enjoy it at home. So, like, we're still maybe getting the benefit of I'm not having to cook. I'm not having a lot of cleanup, but also I get to do it in my home where it's a little bit more comfortable. It's not as busy. Like I have maybe more of that option to like take a rest, pause as needed versus feeling maybe more of that pressure if you're out in public.
Totally. I completely agree. Honestly, I think that this is like an important thing that we forget about. Like you're allowed to do whatever you want. And also all things that you want to do are possible. So, definitely scale, definitely think about the things and be practical. That's why we love Dr. Jenna. She's the most practical person I know in the best way possible. So, some suggestions of things people wanted, and maybe you can be like, partner, human that maybe I live with, or children who are listening to this, send it like starting at this moment, and you can think of some good ideas. So, some of them I have on here are kind of funny, and some of them are very serious. But I think no matter what, like these things should be taken into consideration on most days, not just today. The first one is listen to me for the first time I say something. I think that this is something moms talk about a lot, where it's like I have to say something 7 times before anyone listens to me. And that is really frustrating. So if only today, do this. Listen to me the first time. Just cook and clean so I don't have to. The best day is quiet self-care day to myself with an evening family adventure. I love that. So maybe
Ooh,
you
combo. Meet in
combo
the
day,
middle.
meet in the middle. I love it. Hire a cleaning lady for a deep spring clean. I love
Ooh.
that. Use non-toxic cleaners if you can. Make your life better. Okay. Do everything. I don't want to lift a finger. Love it. Do the dishes. That's just one thing you have to do. Cook and figure out all meals. Clean my house. Thank you very much. You guys are funny. Send me off to the spa. So that would be an alone day, maybe. Take me somewhere warm, sunny beach, somewhere I can just lay in a chair all day. Okay, I respect
Go to a park, pack a picnic. I think sometimes
that.
like with the list, there's like, okay, there's definitely maybe the like typical things that you might do that
Mm-hmm.
someone else could do in your place, you know, like someone else could help clean the house or the groceries, or maybe do like the carpool for like the
Mm-hmm.
week or even a few days just to kind of
Yeah,
like take some offloading there. Like if there's weekend sports, it's kind of around that time, like, hey,
yeah,
someone else is gonna do like my carpool duty for once or something. Um,
totally.
but then I think the other flip side is like, I don't want to be the one making the decisions, which I think is a
Mm-hmm.
very like interesting part of just like personal relationships dynamics between people of like people just don't want to always have to be the decision maker for things. So I think even just I don't want to be the one that has to decide what we're all eating. Like
Mm-hmm.
you all do it. Oh, now you can realize how hard it is trying to please everyone all the time. Like
It's
please
impossible.
remember this. So I think sometimes some of that decision making of here's what I loosely want, but I want you to be able to like
Mm-hmm.
fill in the blanks and make these decisions, like can be a nice way of feeling like you have some say in what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of know what to anticipate. It's still something along what you want to really do, but then it's still offloading the responsibility to have like
Mm-hmm.
that other person execute it. So it can be like they're still doing something, they can still feel active. You don't have to think about it and plan it, but you also know it's going to be something that you're going to enjoy.
100%. I think that honestly, like options without having to make decisions are like my dream come true. Like I love not having to make decisions, whether it's like where we're going to dinner, what we're having for dinner. Like I always tell my husband, like, what do you want for dinner? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, I will make you a freaking souffle as long as you just like tell me what you want to eat. Like oftentimes the act of cooking, I mean, cooking is difficult, especially if you have dizziness and things like that. That's not the point. But like oftentimes the act of doing the actual thing is harder than actually doing the decision making of what to make. Right. Like that decision fatigue is exhausting. So maybe you just be like, yeah, I want to have breakfast. And like, I don't really care what it is. Just like make sure it has protein in it and please bring it to me when I wake up.
Yeah. So I think sometimes just the here's a loose outline, the more
Mm-hmm.
specifics I want you to have to nail down because I'm not planning my own party.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Totally. And I think another important thing is to remember to not forget to enjoy yourself. Like, I feel like a lot of times we have this like thing in our head that like I'm dizzy, therefore this is going to go badly. So like whether it's a picnic in the park or a museum, or I am just going to stay home all day, or we're going to go sit in the backyard, or we're going to go on a family walk or whatever. Like no matter what it is, remembering to enjoy yourself is number one, because a lot of times again, we forget that like a lot of this is like a self-fulfilling prophecy almost, where if you feel like, oh, this is going to really go terribly and I hate everything and everything is terrible and XYZ, the more we think that way, honestly, often the worst things do end up being. And so don't forget to expect that it will go well.
Yes. And just it's about you and what you
It
want to
is.
enjoy. Don't make it feel like
Yeah.
you need to put on a show to like validate others for what they're trying to do for you. Like that.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of the cycle people can feel like sometimes with that whole idea of putting on a show,
Hmm.
but also like making sure the people that are trying to do something like feel validated in what they're doing, where it's
Hmm.
like, well, like, yes, to a degree, you can appreciate or like, thank you. Like, I can tell there was thought in this, but like,
Hmm.
I need to take a break or we need to like cut things short or can we just like plan on doing this a different day? Like, I think this is a
Yeah.
great idea. You put in all the work to have this all
Hmm.
set up, but like, can it be a different day?
100%. I
Like,
totally agree.
usually with a lot of those decisions and planning and things, like it can always get moved to a different day and you still have that template of all the things that were put together. So it can be copy and pasted, to a degree, things can get rescheduled and changed. So I think just keeping that in mind that you can request that is totally valid.
100%. I see absolutely nothing wrong with this. I also want us to sometimes remember that, like, going back to the beginning of like, sometimes these days are hard. I don't know what just made me think about this, but it can be really difficult if you like Mother's Day is a really emotionally triggering day for you, because a lot of dizziness and migraine attacks and things like that are more triggered or triggering on days where emotions are very high or very
Mhm.
low and there's a big change in emotions. And I know sometimes we're like, oh, well, like my emotions just changed. Like, why does that matter? Your brain responds differently depending on your personal emotional state. And obviously, we should not just be even keeled all the time. That is very unhuman and strange, and it would be weird. But it's a very, very, very real thing that we would want people and things and places to be normalized on one day, but that's just not the way that life works. And so the more that you can be like, okay, I'm going to take my time today and grieve if I need to grieve, or feel sad or happy or whatever that wants to feel like, and maybe pre-treating on Saturday evening before Sunday morning comes around can be best case scenario.
Yes, I'd say just because it's the idea of it in a rose tinted colored glass
Yeah.
world here is like happy and great and lovely. Like there's going to be mixed
Mhm.
emotions. There might be that, the more negative
Mhm.
emotions that are, again, totally normal and real that can pop up around any holiday. But yeah, that can just add to that threshold a little bit, being aware of that. And even the happy
Mhm.
ones can add to the threshold too.
100%. 100%. Like really big excitement is a very, very similar thing to your brain as like deep, deep anxiety. Because like your heart rate is up, your breathing rate is up, like all of the things that change in your brain. And so do remember that as you go into this day. And remember that you could get to ask for whatever you want to ask for, whether that's I don't want to make decisions or that's please make me these very three specific foods tomorrow and get me this very specific thing.
Yep,
Totally.
I love it.
I love it. Well, I think that's it. And I think that's all my tips, but you guys were really funny in the responses. I really liked them a lot. um, anything else from you? Anything else you can think of?
I don't know. I feel like when in doubt,
Mm-hmm.
request. I was like, the coupons were great. I remember doing the coupons in like elementary school with teachers of just like, hey, I want like 5 no question ask XYZ
Yeah.
things, and like you cash them in whenever you want,
Yeah.
and whatever
Mm-hmm.
it be that you want
I
to
love
be.
that.
That can always be a nice way of saying like, I don't want this to just be today. Like
Yeah.
I want this to be a little bit more consistent. Like every day should be Mother's Day. Every day should be Valentine's
Mm-hmm.
Day. Like let's have some of this appreciation like throughout just this one day. Sometimes I like
Totally.
that coupon thing because it's an easy thing. It can
Mm-hmm.
be just like basic things to your day where it's like, hey, I just need a break.
Mm-hmm.
Like here's my
Mm-hmm.
ticket.
100%. I definitely like all of these ideas. And mom, if you're listening to this, I love you. Happy early Mother's Day. She
Yes,
listens
we
sometimes.
appreciate you. You do such a hard job.
You do such a hard job. Oh my God.
All mothers,
All
honestly.
moms. We love you all. Go moms. Alrighty. Anything else?
No, I think that
Okay.
covers it. I gotta start planning Mother's Day.
I know. It's coming up. We're recording this obviously way before Mother's Day, but it's the end of April. It's May 12th, in case anyone was wondering. Alrighty. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you in
Yeah,
the next
thank you.
episode. Bye.